Hey guys, it's Liza. Welcome back to another episode. I am so glad to have you guys here. Thank you so much for investing your time with me. Today, I am going to teach you how you can master your credit score. As credit is becoming more and more of a big deal when you're trying to get a car, when you're trying to buy a house, when you're even trying to rent somewhere. It is important to have these three powerful tools backed up to help you make the most of your credit score. We're going to be focusing on credit hacks specifically for your credit cards. So if you guys are struggling with credit card management, or maybe you're even in debt in your credit cards, but for this today, we're going to be focusing on how you can increase your score just with your credit card. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys about is your payment history. Your payment history is accountable for over 1/3 of your credit score. For 35% of your credit score is determined by your payment history. So if you're making your payments on time, if you've ever been late, if you're paying your monthly, or you're paying your entire bill in full every month, these are things that is going to make a difference in your credit score dramatically. If you guys want fast changes, this is going to be one of the biggest things. If you leave money on your credit card and you don't make the payment, if you miss a payment, if you only pay the minimum that you owe, then you guys are subject to that gigantic interest rate. Credit card industries are famous for high interest rates that's why they're able to give you this free money. They're famous for their high interest rates on money that you guys owe. So if you really want to make a difference in your credit score, this is a big deal. Pay attention to your payment history. Make sure you not only just make your monthly payments, but you pay a little extra. Don't just pay your minimums. Get that down. If you owe more than your monthly minimum, then put as much extra money on that as you can. Get that down to where you are at a zero balance every month. Something that can help you with this is making sure that you pay your credit card bill off every week. Now, this is something that I do. Every week I have a little reminder on my phone, hey, pay your credit bill, look at it, go see what you owe. And then I pay that I think it's a Thursday. Every Thursday I pay off my credit card bill, and that way I'm starting off at a zero every week. This leads us to the second biggest effect you guys can make on your credit score, and this is your credit utilization ratio. Now, that's a kind of a big word, but it's actually a very simple process. Your credit utilization ratio is how much of the credit line that the credit card company has given you that you're using. So they want you, in order to maintain a very good credit score, to use under 30% of your credit line that you're given. So that means if you have $1,000 credit line, don't spend more than $300, or if you do, pay it off just like that. Your credit utilization ratio is accountable for 30%. It's another gigantic chunk of your credit score. So if you guys really want to make a gigantic and dramatic difference on your credit score, you definitely need to be focusing on your payments and your utilization ratio. So definitely make sure that you're using under 30%, the closest, the smallest number down that you can get, perfect. But do not exceed that 30%. Something you can do with this is also kind of with the weekly payments that I was discussing earlier. Now, a great way to make sure that you stay under that 30% is paying off your debt every week. This keeps you under that 30% before you make a payment. So they want to make sure that you're not using 100%. That's going to drop your score. If you're using 100% of your credit card in a week, that's going to drop your score, even if you pay it off. For those of you who only have $1,000 credit line or less than that, I know a 30% limitation is kind of going to be difficult. I mean, groceries, for crying out loud, if you have a family, is going to be pushing $300. So it's kind of crazy, but something that you can do in order to fix that ratio is you guys can actually apply for a larger line of credit. So if you're at $1,000, if you're lower than that, if you're above that, and the 30% that you need to stay under is still not enough for you to work with, then try applying for a larger amount of credit. This will make sure that it makes it easier for you guys to stay under that 30%, and it allows you to have more flexibility and just kind of ensure, even for people who have good credit and who can stay under that 30%. Still, if you want to just make sure and make double sure that you guys are not going to be going over that 30%, or you want to make that ratio even lower, you can apply for a larger credit line, and that will affect your credit ratio. Our third and final tip for credit card users to improve your credit score is this. Do not cancel a card that you've had for years. Credit history is accountable for up to 15% of your credit score. This includes even bad history. If you have something wrong or something bad on your credit card, on your credit history, maybe you missed like 5 payments in a row, or you missed a couple payments, or you're late, or something wasn't really ideal, it's okay. Do not cancel that card. Maybe the card is getting old or something, but you can always ask for a new card. If you want to switch cards from, maybe you had a really basic one to begin with and you want to switch to one that has more rewards, it's really cool, but you guys can ask to keep the same card information. So basically you have the same card, but they issue you another one with all the same information and with the new rewards or the different miles program. They have different options for you. Whatever option that you wanted, they have that same information from the other card, but in the new one that you wanted now. And that is going to save your credit score as well, because credit history amounts to a lot. This is very important. Do not just cancel a card because you don't use it anymore if you've had it for years. That will affect, if you don't want to use the card, then just put a subscription on it. Maybe you have a Netflix subscription or a Spotify or a Disney Plus. Just put that on there and put it on automatic payments where you know exactly how much is going to be coming out. But keep that credit history because it is going to be ideal if you want to change your credit score.